Hello and welcome along to another episode and another big transfer deadline day from this FM22 One Club story with Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 139 today, and as well as facing Brendan Rodgers' Everton in the Premier League, we are trying to hold on to stars again. The Premier League table is arguably as tight as it's ever been, 8 points separating the top 6, and we're currently in 5th, but just 3 points off second. But we've also got some massive problems, both physically in terms of injuries, international duty, bodies, suspensions, everything, as you can see from the team news at the top of the screen. However, there are some monster offers coming in, and we can't find replacements. So we're going to have some big decisions to make on deadline day. If you're looking forward to seeing what we do, whether there's any big departures as the title might hint at the top of the screen, then please do put a thumbs up on the video and subscribe down below for daily FM22 content. We're obviously a day later than normal for this one because we've got our new Sunday schedule for the rest of the summer. Experiment time and top threes. That will be the double header every Sunday, as well as our Twitch streams, of course. You can find links in the eye above to those two new videos. Please do give them a go if you haven't already, as well as the Twitch channel, football podcast and merchandise store too. You can also support the show as a channel member by clicking the join button down below. But thank you for your support, because we have got big on the pitch news potentially in terms of injuries and players leaving the club. But we've also got very big news off it. It's news that happened a little while ago, but I've just not had the right place to tell you. So let's go straight over to that. The youth facilities have been improved again. We've waited a long time to get that next step up with those. And what that means now, if we look at the facilities, is we've got great youth facilities, exceptional recruitment, and we're just one youth level from the very top. So we could see more stars coming through regularly. What we've also got, though, very big news on the stadium front, being expanded to 29,000 something, so almost 30,000 seater, and that could be funded entirely by what might happen tomorrow. But I'm a little bit reluctant because we saw it cost us a title last season when Mario Ricca left. We haven't got replacements at the same level lined up, and believe me, I've been scouting trying to find them. So unless we get something absolutely scandalous, I don't think we can do it. But if we then get offers in the same ballpark as the Mario Ricca one last year of 175 million, and we get that for, say, a Tyrese Ricketts, who's not even half as good, then what am I supposed to do? But we'll get to all that in a moment. Let's have a quick look at what's happened in January already, because a lot of our young players that we don't want to give big new deals to have agreed to go out the club in the summer. So Gareth Jones has been out on loan a few times. He will be going to Celtic at the end of his contract. Toby Bliss, who for a while looked like he was going to be that first star, just not developed, even out on loan this year. And the same for Declan Mason, who goes to Aberdeen. 19 years of age, a solid player, but never going to be a Premier League one. And again, wanted 10 grand a week for a League One standard player. It's not good enough. We can't be doing that. There is a little bit of transfer news already, and you can see one of them at the bottom of the screen there. We have provisionally accepted an offer for Mailton, £163 million, but they haven't offered the sell on. So it's because there were one or two other clubs interested, and I'm trying to attempt a higher offer too. But at 23, I don't want to sell him because he hasn't reached his ceiling, and he is, spoiler alert, probably the best player at the club now. He's overtaken Moreira. He's performing consistently for one of the first times in his career. I don't want to let him go, but if we get any closer to 200 million, or if we get to a stage where we're getting sell-ons as well as 160, 170 million, it's got to be done, regardless of what I think. However, the one I'm more likely to sell is Tyrese Ricketts, because we've had offers from United for him. It went up to 140 million, but there were a lot of what-if installments, like if he makes this many appearances, if he scores this many goals, if we achieve this. And that's not really what I'm looking for at this stage. I'm mindful of the fact that unlike Mailton, he's only got 18 months left on his contract. Unlike Mailton, he's only got 3-star ability. Unlike Mailton, he's not even a nailed-on regular because he's not playing brilliantly. He's scoring 1 in 2, but he's not offering a huge amount in most games. So if anyone's going to go this window, I think it's probably Ricketts. More for the contractual situation, more for the lack of ability and influence on the team in comparison. And if we can get anywhere near the same money for the two, I'd pick Ricketts as the one to go. So let me know what you think of that down in the comments. Of course, we'll make our decision later in the episode. Let me quickly show you though what's been happening off camera, because it's been a weird old mixed bag, I've got to say. We've basically gone back to our early season plan in the league of clinging on for draws against the top sides, which has largely worked. We've picked up a couple of decent home wins against poor sides, avenged defeats to Watford and Sheffield United earlier in the year, and we played a weakened City side in the Carabao Cup, which really helped us. But you were with me for the City draw and United defeat. We rested everyone in that United game and it paid off against City. We won 2-0 in the League Cup semi-final first leg as Torres and Stamatis got the 2 goals. A 10-0 win for the reserves against Tranmere. 4 for Ostrakovic, 2 for Coronel and Martin, and 1 each for De Witte and Hanifan. A 1-0 win in the second leg against City. An early red card killed the tie. We were able to rest people, and thankfully German Moreira got a goal to make it easier. A 3-1 win at home to Sheffield United. Mailton's brace and Torres made it comfortable with a late consolation, not really causing any concern. A 0-0 draw at Spurs, John Moore the star, a really resolute defensive display and exactly what we needed against a title rival. Before a 5-1 win at home to Watford with 2 for Torres, Coronel and Moreira getting 1 each, 2 red cards late on to thwart any comeback chance, and Phil Shearer with an own goal for Watford. Before a 2-2 draw at home at Manchester United in midweek, Chauvin scored as well as picking up an injury, and Mailton put one away from the spot. Another facet to Mailton's play, best penalty taker at the club. So there's a lot of things we've got to factor in here. I wouldn't be heartbroken to see Ricketts go. I would be heartbroken to see Mailton go. So with an extra year on his contract, we'll try and cling on to him. For now though, it's all about Everton and we are depleted. Azoma still on international duty at AFCON. We've got Zaruk back, but he's not really fit. He's been struggling having played so much football. We've got Moreira suspended, Mailton with flu, Jura and Chauvin are knackered. And then coming back from injury, Delgado's not fit, Arlan's not ready to start a game. I mean, we're a mess basically. So I'm going to try and piece together an 11 here. It might be makeshift, but hopefully it can get us a result. So this is what we're forced into. I've gone for a little bit of a gamble with Ignacio Jura at centre-half. The plan being that I'm going to try and then get Zaruk through the game on Wednesday and then send him on holiday for a week while we play Brentford in the Cup, because we've then not got a game for 9 days afterwards. So that's the plan for the next week to deal with the centre-half position. We've got 3 subs who aren't really fit. We've got a goalkeeper and another player coming back from injury, and Ian Watts, who is nowhere near first team level. We've also got Carlos Martin starting against the recommendation of our medical team. And we're missing stars. I mean, it's not a good look, is it? So the team we've gone for today is John Moore in goal. Jose and Peebles are the fullbacks, with Hanifan and Jura as centre-half. I guess the other reason Jura starts, if we'd bought striker in, that would have been a full backup back 4. De Witte's in the holding role as Andreka's still out injured as well. Stamatis in alongside Coronel, that's because of the suspended Moreira, and Martin in for the injured Mailton, or the ill Mailton, in the number 10 role. And then Ricketts and Torres up front. Torres been absolutely brilliant, despite his relatively average stats. Tyrese Ricketts, he needs a kick up the backside. Not scored in 5, so let's do the old trick. We've saved it especially for this game. Criticise recent form. I've got faith in you to get back to scoring ways. Get 2 goals, add 10 million to your value, and then pop off to United on Monday. That's ideal. On the bench, we've not got many options to actually come on. We're down to the bare bones. We've got some good news in the sense that Miguel Coronel signed a new deal. We're keeping a few of these star players, but that is not the team I'd like to name in any Premier League game. We're doing it away at Everton. Not the best sign at all. They've had a solid season in mid-table, and I'm worried they might spring a shock on us today. Let's go and see if they can. Here we go then. Nigel Gribbin up front is a man we have been linked with before. Really quality striker, good English player, but Brendan Rodgers' side is not the strongest in the league. Having said that, we're a long way from title contenders, particularly with the defensive side we're putting out. Peebles is one of our emergency backups. Carlos Martin we tried to sell all summer. And let's be honest, even Jura, the first choice defender, isn't fully fit. We are a mile off what we'd like to be. Let's just hope we can cling on today, get through the next week or so, and then have a real breather off the pitch. As we're 6 minutes on the clock, we're back on the left-hand side with a Peebles throw into Tyrese Ricketts. Please let that team talk work. It always works, the individual chat. and we need it today. If Ricketts can find form, nick a couple of goals, it might just be enough to get us over the line. As Stamatis finds Martin. Torres finds him again. Martin back from injury and back in form. It's the one thing that's making me worry less about Mailton, is that Martin really has been good when he's played this season. He's another one out of contract in 18 months though. It's another one we've had offers for in this window. So I really don't know what to make of it. Well, leading up to half-time, we're starting to get on top in terms of shots and possession, but without really causing any big threat. At the half-time whistle, it remains 1-0. We need to push these lads on for more, but I've got to think about physicality as well. Yes, German Moreira will be back in midweek. That one's fine. De Vitter's on a booking and Drecker's nowhere near. We've got to look at the defence. We've got to look at resting the likes of Ricketts, Torres and Martin. Do I gamble on Ricketts leaving and maybe playing him through the 90? I don't know. There's so many big decisions to make. But for now, it's about clinging on for the win, which is more important. As Reed's got it in the middle for Everton, who still pose one hell of a threat here. Roper the left back to Mehmet as centre half. They're confident in possession and it's chipped forward towards Gribbin. Jura does really well there, but Jose loses it. Just dallies on it a bit. He's used to playing against poor sides in the League Cup. Here, he might have cost us a goal. I think he has. I'm begging for an offside flag because Moore didn't cover himself in glory there. Almost parried it into his near side netting. Please let it be offside. It is. Goal disallowed. Maybe it's a lucky day. Shocking start to the second half though. As here we are, 10 minutes in the second half, back with Carlos Torres, wide on the right-hand side for some reason. Stamatis finds Danilo Jose and Rodrigo de Vita into Carlos Martin, someone we've got to think about as well, of course. Only back from injury, not really fully fit. Almost got his second goal of the game there. Good save by the keeper. Is he someone we're going to have to bring off? Jura's looking knackered at the back. It's really worrying at the moment. As Coronel puts the corner in, Jura loses out in the air. And we're almost being recommended to take him off already. An hour gone. I don't know whether to stick or twist. Is it better to have Striker who's not as good, or to have Jura who's not as fit? I just don't know. We'll make that decision in a moment. If we could get a second goal, it would make this decision a bit easier. But if anything, Everton are starting to look the more likely, as Vesic finds Parsons on the right. Big ball over the top. They're in one-on-one. Moore's been rounded, and now they're level. This is the frustration. We've had a lot of draws this month. The City game you saw on camera, then United and Spurs too. It's Peebles who made the mistake, and look, here's an emergency backup. Now they've got a free kick in a dangerous position. It's a good angle for Gribbin. It's saved by Moore. I've got to make the changes. Forget about quality. The tired players are costing us the game here. So Coronel will come off 4. I haven't even got 3 subs to bring on there. I'm going to gamble. Right, Peebles off. Jose to the left. Striker on at right back. I'm not sure that helps us. In midfield, I'm going to drop Martin into centre mid. I'm going to take Coronel off for Danny Harrison, with Torres going into the number 10. And then De Vitter's off for Arlan, who makes his return from injury and rolls back the years to the holding role he played for so long for us. Not where he's been this season, but he's going to have to do a job. Now, please don't concede from the corner. We're not seeing it, which is a good sign. With 20 minutes to go, this game could get away from us. We had chances in the first half that we didn't take, and now Everton look the stronger physically. As at the back, we've got it with Ignacio Jura, who's definitely not going to be fit in midweek. Martin chips it to Ricketts. Not worked yet, that individual chat. Oh, until now. He hits the post. Then the second one hits the keeper. I was already celebrating the goal, I won't lie to you. We win a free kick on the right with Harrison, but it could have been so much more. How has it not gone in? Free kick for Arlan, right down by the corner flag, delivers to the back post, headed away by Vesic. Striker brings it down on the left wing. We've got nearly 3 on the expected goals front, and somehow we've only scored 1. Let's encourage the lads for the last 5, get them on the front foot. Look, a draw's not a bad result. In the circumstances we are at the moment, it's about keeping an unbeaten run and not getting injuries. We do that with a good draw away from home. But looking at the stats, looking at the quality of chances we made, it should have been so much more. Tyrese Ricketts, the goal drought continues. I think we're going to opt to sell him rather than Mailton on deadline day. We'll wait for the offer, be back in a moment for the big day. But I think I've made my decision. We'll reject the sale of Mailton. We'll try and get rid of Ricketts. Here it is then, a quiet transfer deadline day expected. Mailton and Tyrese Ricketts, the two biggest sale linked in the league. We're not going to sell both. We're absolutely certain of that. And Mailton is not going to Leicester, who aren't even in European football. That's scandalous. However, Tyrese Ricketts I'm open to. Let's take part in a day. We're linked with other players in. I'd sort of lined up Alban from Norwich as a potential replacement for Mailton, and the same for Collins and Joe, who we'll look at later on if it happens. But I don't really want to do it unless forced. If Joe's scout report suggests he's great and we can make 110 million profit, then fine. But for Alban, it's a 50 million profit. As a player of the same age, a bigger contract doesn't make sense. But I'll listen to offers for Ricketts and then hunt around for a striker. Well, just something interesting actually to pop out of our staff meeting, which is our director of football, Marcus Morris, telling us that we should hire a scout in Maurizio Pochettino. But he's actually a director of football. Now, should I hire him as my director of football? His stats are phenomenal, his personality too. I want him. I am going to go, for the first time, to try and get a new director of football. Maurizio Pochettino, I'm going to offer him £5,000 a week and be fair on a 5-year deal. Let's hope he agrees to that. He wants 7, we'll offer 6. We might well have a man that could change our summer, because Marcus Morris hasn't got the reputation, despite having great attributes. So he's not finding those world stars. He's not got that world knowledge. Pochettino might change that for us. That's an interesting start to the day. An off-the-field signing in the staffing team could yet be the biggest one of the day. In terms of offers, I didn't show you what's actually happened already this month. Vit Strubeck, who we couldn't get a work permit for, the annoyance of having the striking solution there but not being able to play him. He's gone on loan to Atletico Madrid. I want him to have a really good half a season there, get the work permit to be able to play for us, and then next season, I want to see the best of him. Hopefully he can become our new poacher and replace Ricketts, but that's a matter of time. And he has declined a little bit from not being able to play for half a season. Callum Felstead, a youngster, went for $500,000. Andrew Ralph, the third keeper, for $250,000, but nothing big. That's going to happen today. Well, here is an interesting one. In any other circumstance, I would accept this. 90% of the wages for Sastra Strakovic, a chance to play football at Shakhtar regularly alongside Louise, who's gone out on loan. And he really is starting to improve. I think I have to take it. We've got to work realistically. But then if we end up losing Tyrese Ricketts, we're down to 3 first-team strikers and Ian Watts, which would be a disaster for the title race. So we're going to have to start looking for a striker. We're not taking 30 million for De Vita. That's a silly offer. Let's see if the director of football has got any strikers that they can offer us that maybe aren't over 30 this time. It's not looking good. They're all old boys on massive money. This might be, even more so than last year, the biggest decision I have to make in this save. We have managed to renegotiate a deal with PSG for the same money that they offered last time. 163 million in guaranteed money, 138 of it up front, and now a 50% sell-on clause for a 23-year-old that is just about the best player at the club. My issue is, we're not going to get a better player than him, either in current form, potential, anything. He's a superstar. However, we have found a very good replacement for less than a third of the price. We've also got a very good in-form Carlos Martin. And this guy, Collins and Joe, is 23 years of age, £54 million, 100 grand a week, happy to be a squad player initially. And I know he's not great, but he's very good. And if he's got more potential, he can grow into that. He's been at Arsenal before. He's got youth experience in England. He's played for Ipswich. He's played for West Brom. He's played for Rangers, even in Scotland. I've got to do it. Mailton leaves the club. 163 million plus a sell-on. The second successive January, we've lost our best player. Collins and Joe, 54 million, with 5 million if he plays 50 league games, will join in his place. That is a very big deal on transfer deadline day. Let's go and meet Collins. I am pretty heartbroken by that, I can't lie to you. I mean, it's even just rubbing it in my face there. Mailton scored the winning goal in the Europa League final in 2035. But this is his replacement, and he's a very good player, and he's a fraction of the cost. This is the way we have to operate realistically here. And we've got a replacement, so it had to be done. Collins and Joe, 3-star ability, 3.5 potential. A very good number 10, as good as Carlos Martin with potential to get better. And I just hope he grows into that stardom that Mailton's got. And actually, looking at those attributes that had a little bit of a range before, he's probably a little better than I expected. He's got the great personality, he's got the flair, likes to get in the opposition box, has got a great long shot on him, can also play naturally centre mid, which Mailton couldn't, but he can't play up front, which Mailton could, and could be crucial later in the day. But he's a quality footballer, a brilliant operator, needs work as a shadow striker, needs work as a finisher. We'll get that done, don't worry about that. But a really good replacement for a fraction of the price. It's the world we're in. We're Hemel Hempstead Town. We're still a selling club. Let's see if we get any more big offers. 11 hours to go. Alban now won't be joining the football club. Well, this is interesting. I think the threat of replacing Marcus Morris might have just made him step up, because he's made an offer for a player called Alberto Vaz for 18.25 million. 3-star ability, 4-star potential. Now, for a team of our standard, with our players, 3-star ability is great. 18 million is scandalous if he's that good. Only 25 years of age, and would allow us maybe to sell Moreira or a Carlos Martin later down the line. Let's take a look at him. Wow. You have just kept your job, I think, Mr. Director of Football. Pochettino might well come in, but this man, absolutely stunning. Now, the only concern is he's on 90 grand a week. How much is he going to want? We are upping our wage strategy. It's going within the 150 bracket now. But that would be a super signing for the price. And we have been a little short on midfielders this year. Let's see what he wants. This is very reasonable. Let me negotiate it, because we might have just got an unexpected second deal of the day, and I owe the Director of Football a lot. That is an absolutely fabulous spot. Well, a few hours and a number of rejected offers later, the Director of Football's deal has pulled off a masterstroke on deadline day. Vaz Alberto is joining us from Eintracht Frankfurt. Just 18.25 million, 110 grand a week. He's another one, like Collins and Joe. He was with him at Arsenal. He only left a year or so ago. That's remarkable, but what a deal for the money. Great personality, very good player. What an addition. And there he is, 3-star ability, 3.5 potential, in there just behind Coronel and Moreira, first choice backup essentially, with Stamatis, with some of the youngsters coming back next year. We've now got a really good squad in midfield. So pleased with that one, so happy to get it over the line, and it does allow us to make another big sale if Moreira won't sign a new deal. Well, a little late sale in the day. Che Thomas goes out to QPR for a couple of 100 grand. We reject the deal for Alban because we've already signed Joe. And that should be it. No deadline day offers for Ricketts. He's going to survive till the summer. And that was deadline day. What a day it was as well. And I've got to say, having started the day desperate not to sell Mailton, knowing he's our star player, 163 million with a sell-on clause, plus the 2 I've managed to get in as a replacement for 70 million. I'm actually really happy come the end of the day. Collins and Joe is a solid replacement and is slightly better than I thought he'd be for 54 million. And then the Director of Football, out of nowhere, after threatening his job to Pochettino, has turned up with an 18 million bargain for a top-class Premier League midfielder. A few other little bits out on loan, and hopefully Fitz Rubeck is ready to get a work permit and replace Tyrese Ricketts in the summer. But otherwise, I'm really pleased with that day. Given where it started, given what I expected, it's gone much better than the one last January. So player wage expenditure, we're still in the bottom half, but we are creeping up that league now. Let's have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back, because, believe it or not, it's a reunion with Mailton. PSG in the Champions League, first knockout round, first leg. Mailton versus Hemel Hempstead Town. I'm sure he'll be registered by then. And we'll also have the Carabao Cup final, where we should be favourites against lowly Watford. But of course, they've beaten us once already this season. We're going to have to be careful. If you did enjoy it, it was action-packed for sure, then please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you think of the deadline day work. I think we've done as well as we can with our replacements on a budget. If you want to stay up to date and find out how they get on this season and whether they can help us lift the Carabao Cup, then please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. Don't forget to check out our top 3 playlist. The latest episode was yesterday. It's in the eye above. There's links up there to the Twitch channel, football podcast and merchandise store too. And I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time for a very early reunion with Mailton.